Welcome, my dear students in Prep 3. Let's continue our algebra lessons. Today we will study operations on algebraic fractions. As we studied before in primary, adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing fractions, it's similar to the algebraic fractions. Let's discuss at first adding and subtracting algebraic fractions. If you remember, if we have two fractions with the same denominator and we want to add them, we will add the numerators and we will write the denominator as it is. This is in addition and in subtraction if we have the same denominator. If we have different denominator, in this case we unify the denominator by multiplying the two denominators. Here for example we have a over b and c over d. So I'll multiply a by d and b by c, and I'll multiply the denominators together to get bd is one denominator. Then I'll add AD plus CB. Also in subtraction the same. I'll unify the denominator, then I'll subtract. The same in algebraic fractions. If I want to add or subtract algebraic fractions having the same denominator, I'll write the denominator, then I'll add the numerators. For example, here I have f of x over k of x plus p of x over k of x, the same denominator. So I write it, k of x, then I'll add f of x plus p of x. By the same way in subtraction, I'll add the same denominator, then I'll subtract the numerators. If we have different denominators, we will unify them by multiplying r of x by k of x. So I'll multiply f of x by k of x and I'll multiply p of x by r of x. So now I have a common denominator. I can subtract and write the same denominator. Let's take some exercises, and the first one is find n of x in the simplest form, showing the domain of n. N of x, the first one is x minus 3 over x power 2 minus 2x minus 3 plus x power 2 minus x over x power 2 minus 1. The same way we studied in the last session, I'll factorize up and down, then write the domain, then simplify. So let's begin. Here we have x minus 3, this is simple. X power 2 minus 2x minus 3. This one can be factorized. X power 2 minus x. We will take x as a common factor, and here we can factorize a difference between two squares. X minus 3 as it is. X power 2 minus 2x minus 3. We have 3, and the factors is 1 multiply 3. Here negative, it means different sign. The greater will take the sign of the middle. So 3 will take the negative sign. Here we will take x as a common factor, so we have x minus 1. And here I'll factorize the difference between two squares. It will be x plus 1 multiply x minus 1. Now it's time to get the domain. The domain of this fraction or algebraic fraction will be r minus the zeros of the denominator. What are the zeros of denominator? Here, for example, negative 1, positive 3, and positive 1. So the domain is r minus negative 1, positive 1, and 3. Okay, can we simplify? Here, for example, we have x minus 3, and here we have x minus 3. Here we have x minus 1, and here we have x minus 1. So I'll simplify. Now n of x is 1 plus x over x plus 1. How can we get it? Look at here. If you don't understand, after simplifying, now we have the first one is 1 over x plus 1, and plus the second one is x over also x plus 1. So now I have the same denominator, so I write the same denominator, then I'll add the numerators 1 plus x, and this is 1 plus x. Okay, so this is the final answer. N of x equals 1 over x over x plus 1, 1 plus x over x plus 1. It means what? It means 1. Okay, it means 1. Number 2, n of x. Okay, n of x equals x plus 4 over x power 2 plus x minus 12 minus 1 over x power 2 minus 5x plus 6. X plus 4 is simple. Here I factorize the denominator. It will be x plus 4 multiplied by x minus 3. Here 1, and I'll factorize the denominator also. Now I should write the domain. It will be r minus the zeros of the denominators. R minus negative 4, positive 3, positive 2, and positive 3, but don't repeat. So the domain is r minus negative 4, 2, and 3. Now let's simplify and subtract. Here we have x plus 4, and here we have x plus 4. So it will be 1 over x minus 3 minus 1 over x minus 2 multiplied by x minus 3. Here x minus 3 and here x minus 3. So we need x minus 2. I'll multiply up and down by x minus 2. 1 will be x minus 2. And here x minus 2 multiplied by x minus 3. So here I have x minus 2 minus 1. So it will be x minus 3 over x minus 2 multiplied by x minus 3. And then simplify to get 1 over x minus 2. And this is the last answer. Here also I want to get the domain and simplify. N of x equals 3x minus 15 over x power 2 minus 8x plus 15 minus x power 2 minus 3x minus 18 over 9 minus x power 2. The first step is factorize up and down. I'll take a common factor. Here we have 3 is a common factor, so I write it here. It will be 3 multiplied by x minus 5, because 15 divided 3 equals 5. Here I'll factorize the denominator. 15 is 3 multiplied 5, and x power 2 is x multiplied by x. Here positive sign, it means the two brackets have the same sign as the middle. So it will be x minus 5 multiplied by x minus 3. What about the second one? Here we have x power 2 minus 3x minus 18. I'll factorize it as x minus 6 multiplied by x plus 3. And here we have difference between two squares, so it will be 3 minus x multiplied by 3 plus x. Now I should write the domain before simplifying. The domain will be r minus what? Minus 5, positive 3, and here also 3, and here negative 3. So the domain will be r minus negative 3, 3, and 5. Now it's time to simplify. Here we have x minus 5, and here x minus 5. And here x plus 3 and also x plus 3. So I'll simplify to get that n of x equals 3. Here we have the same denominator, as you can notice, x minus 3, and here also here to be x minus 3, I'll multiply here by a negative sign. Okay, for that reason this sign is changed into positive. Okay, let's clarify this point. Here I have 3 over x minus 3 minus x minus 6. This is after simplifying, over 3 minus x. Okay, here we have x minus 3, and here we have 3 minus x, and we know that x minus 3 . x minus 3 is the same as, it is the same as negative 3 minus x. So if I multiply this, or x3 minus x is the same as x minus 3 multiplied by a negative sign, because it will be negative 3 and positive x. So this is the same. So I, instead of 3 minus x, I write, instead of 3 minus x, I write my negative x minus 3. Okay, then this is a negative sign. With negative sign, negative multiplied by negative is positive. For that reason, we have 3 plus x minus 6. Okay, I just wanted to clarify this point. So here I have 3 plus x minus 6 over 3 minus x minus 3, and this is a common base. So 3 and negative 6 equals negative 3. So here I have x minus 3, and here I have x minus 3. The result will be 1. Okay, so this is this one. What about multiplication and division? Let's revise fractions. If you have two fractions and you want to multiply them together, you will multiply the numerator multiplied by numerator and denominator by denominator. Okay, and this is the same as algebraic fractions. I'll multiply numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator. Here, for example, n1 multiplied n2 equals f of x multiplied by p of x over r of x multiplied by k of x, by the same way as fractions. If I want to multiply two algebraic fractions, at first I'll arrange the terms of each numerator and denominator, descending order or ascending. Then I'll factorize up and down as we said before. Then I'll find the common domain. Then I'll remove the common factors, then perform the operation of multiplication. Okay, the same steps as before. I'll arrange, factorize up and down, write the common domain, then remove the common factors up with down, then perform the multiplication operation. Let's take an exercise to clarify this point. Find n of x in the simplest form showing the domain of n. Number 1, n of x equals x power 2 minus x over x power 2 plus 2x multiplied by x power 2 minus 4 over x power 2 minus 1. The first step is to, this it's arranged, so I'll factorize up and down. Here I'll take x as a common factor, so the remainder will be x minus 1. Here I'll take x also a common factor, it will be x plus 2. Here is a difference between two squares. X power 2 minus 4 will be x plus 2 multiplied by x minus 2. And here also a difference between two squares. X plus 1 multiplied by x minus 1. Now it's time to write the domain. The domain will be a common domain. So it will be r minus 0, negative 2, negative 1, positive 1. This is the domain of n of x. Now I want to simplify, then perform the multiplication operation. Here we have, for example, x with x, and we have x minus 1, and here we have x minus 1. Also we have x plus 2, and here we have x plus 2. So the remainder will be x minus 2 over x plus 1. So this is the result, is x minus 2 over x plus 1. Okay. We have the same properties of multiplying algebraic fractions like fractions, commutative, associative. Also we have one which is a multiplicative neutral, and also there is a multiplicative inverse. How can we get the multiplicative inverse of an algebraic fraction? If we have n, for example, is an algebraic fraction of x equals p of x over k of x, but take care, n of x should be doesn't equals to 0. Okay, n of x doesn't equal 0. Then n has a multiplicative inverse. What is the multiplicative inverse? We write it as, or we denote it by n to the power negative 1 of x, and I'll take the reciprocal of this function. It will be k of x over p of x. Just flip. Okay, so this is n power negative 1 of x. The domain of n power negative 1 of x, if we want to get the domain, it will be r minus the set of zeros of each of denominator and numerator. Okay, don't forget. Okay, here for example, n of x equals x minus 8 over x. Then the domain of n power negative 1, we said the domain of n power negative 1, it means the r minus the zeros of numerator and denominator, both of them. So it will be r minus what? Yes, minus 8 and 0. I'll take the zeros up and down. Okay, number 2. If n of x equals x minus 5 over x plus 3. X minus 5 over x plus 3. I want n of negative 1 of 4. We should be sure at first that 4 is or 4 belongs to the domain. Here the domain will be r minus 5 and negative 3. So 4, okay, we can get n power negative 1 of 4. N power negative 1 of x equals what? Equals x plus 3 over x minus 5. Okay, x plus 3 over x plus 5. If you put x as 4, 4 plus 3 equals 7, and 4 minus 5 equals negative 1. 7 over negative 1 means negative 7. Okay, so this is our power negative 1 of 4. Here, for example, if n of x equals 2x minus 4 over x plus 2, then find n power negative 1 of negative 2. Let's take determine the domain at first. Here, for example, 2x minus 4 equals 0. It means 4 over 2, so x equals 2 or negative 2. It means that the domain is r minus 2 and negative 2. So negative 2 doesn't belong to the domain, so we can't get n power negative 1 of 2. Okay, so this is undefined or meaningless because negative 2 doesn't belong to the domain of n power negative 1. Okay. Okay, finally we'll talk about dividing an algebraic fraction by another algebraic fraction. If you remember, when we divide two fractions, we write the first one as it is, then we will change the divide into multiply and take the reciprocal of the second. By the same way exactly we will do in the algebraic fractions. If we have n1 of x divided by n2 of x, it will be n1 of x multiplied by the reciprocal, which is n2 power negative 1 of x. Okay, so it will be, for example, here n1 f of x by r of x or over r of x, then I'll change divide into multiply, then I'll take the reciprocal, so it will be k of x over p of x. Okay, what about the domain of n1 of x divided by n1 divided by n2? It will be the common domain of each of n1 and n2 power negative 1. It means what? It means r except or minus the set of zeros of the first denominator and the second numerator and denominator. Okay, we will clarify it in some exercises. Number 1, n of x equals x power 3 minus 8 over x power 2 plus x minus 6 divided by x power 2 plus 2x plus 4 over 3x plus 9. Arrange, factorize. Let's factorize. Up here, the first one, we have a difference between two cubes. We learned how to factorize it. I take the cube root and the same sign, x minus 2. Then first power 2, x power 2, change the sign, plus 2x plus 4. Here we have trinomial. We can factorize it by the same way. Divided by the first one here up, we can't factorize it. Okay, there is no, we can't factorize this trinomial. Can't be factorized. And here 3x plus 9, I'll take 3 as a common factor, so it will be 3 multiplied by x plus 3. Okay, this can't be factorized. If you calculate b power 2 minus 4ac, it will be a negative number. So this part can't be factorized. Okay, now I'll write the domain. It will be r minus negative 3, positive 2. Also, here negative 3, don't repeat. And here, if there are zeros for this trinomial, we will write them here, but here there is no zeros. Okay, so I write the domain. It means r minus the zeros of the first denominator, the second numerator, and denominator. But here in this case only, this trinomial can't has no zeros, so we can't write here any zeros. So r minus negative 3 and positive 2. Now I'll change divide into multiply, and I write in negative 1 or the reciprocal of the second fraction here. So we have 3 multiplied by x plus 3 over x power 2 plus 2x plus 4. Let's simplify. Here x plus 3 and here x plus 3. X power 2 minus 2x plus 4. X power 2 minus 2x plus 4. Also x minus 2 and x minus 2, so it will be equals to 3. Okay, that's all about our session today. I hope you have understand. This is all about unit 2. Next session we will talk about probability, which is in unit 3. Okay, we have finished unit 2 and we will start studying unit 3. Thank you very much for watching. See you next session.